here going into this round.
Absolutely. And obviously Tony Gilio can use all the help he can get, being the 3 seed. So what rotational acceleration really is it measures just in that first movement of your swing, how close you can get to top speed. How efficiently can you accelerate your bat through usually rotation, being in proper sequence. So there's a couple different ways that you can improve that, and it really is going to vary player to player. So first thing I like to look at is, are they in sequence? You can use slow motion video. If you're good enough, you can use your eyes, or you can use other tools like KVS to pick up, are they firing hips, torso, shoulders, arms, and hands last? Now, if they're not, you can try to address that with a couple drills to get those players in sequence. But if you have a baseball player like me who's very, very tight, it's pretty much impossible for me to just all of a sudden snap my fingers and figure out how to get in sequence. If I ever try to create that separation that you're seeing right here with A-Rod between his hips and shoulders, you see he gets his hips going, and then he lets that tension bring his shoulders and bring that bat forward. He doesn't pull off the ball though. He efficiently brings that, properly brings that bat into the zone, then lets the arms and hands fire last. So anyway, for me, I'm too tight. If I ever try to create that separation between my lower half and shoulders, everything leaks. So I'm forced to start my bat way, way, way too early. So you can't, with a player like me, address sequencing right away. You have to address my flexibility. You'll have other players that struggle with strength. So maybe it's more of a weight training program or a dynamic movement program to eventually get them, get their bodies in the right state to finally begin to make those changes into their swing. They're my favorite metric to talk about most recently. So John, how do guys usually take this, and how does it affect their performance in game?
Oh, absolutely. Rotational acceleration isn't just a power metric. It has to do with everything. And I like the analogy of a NASCAR truck, or NASCAR versus maybe, let's say, a semi truck who's starting on the same raceway, and they have a top speed of 100 miles an hour. Who gets that 100 miles an hour faster, right? It's the NASCAR, because the NASCAR's got the bigger engine. But really what happens with that is you're creating more torque, you're creating more force, and you're getting to the finish line faster than a semi truck, who you guys may have a governor setting the same top speed. The NASCAR is going to get there first, right? And we think of that governor maybe as bat speed. Well, with rotational acceleration, getting there first means you have longer time to wait and see a pitch as it comes down to home plate. And I think the next slide is a visual of Justin Turner as he goes and takes a pitch, right? If you look at number 1, that's a guy who may be a little bit slower with his rotational acceleration and has to make a decision on a pitch early, overcommitting to, let's say, a curveball hasn't broke yet and then breaks in the dirt. But you got a guy chasing a pitch where, he may be able to wait if you have quicker rotation to the visual of number 3 and, take that curveball and see it down or drive it opposite field, just so you can wait longer because you're quicker to the baseball. So it does really have an effect in game as well.
Yeah. I always cite this one guy I follow on Twitter. I think his handle is Pitching Ninja. His real name is Ron Friedman, but he overlays MLB pitchers. So one of my favorite ones is he's got Noah Syndergaard, and of course, everything is exactly the same. The arm action, the ball coming out of the hand. But what we're looking at is his cutter versus his sinker, and those balls are both completely on top of each other, until they're not. So if you're looking at those circles right there, if you have to start your swing when those balls are on top of each other in circle number 1, no chance. Eventually, one dives arm side and one dives glove side. That might not happen until circle number 3. If you can wait that long, then that just affords you a much better opportunity to make contact, put that ball in play, helps with plate discipline as well.
Totally, Jeff. Well, appreciate that. I mean, that's going to be round 3, rotational acceleration. A little brief highlight on it, what we were talking about it. We are looking forward immensely to this next round, as we have for all of them. This has been so much fun so far. We just want to say, from both of us and everyone at Blast, a huge thank you to all of you who have joined in. We've gotten great feedback. We know that you guys are having fun. We love in this time being able to provide an opportunity to create competition